about her not, and from your words, how do you feel about her not understanding what you're going through?
It's frustrating, just because she says I should do something and she thinks it's really simple, and it just gives me even more anxiety because then she starts talking about my grades and how I came to college to be focused, and that she mentions I'm a first gen student, and like, I need to focus, I need to make everyone proud, and it just gets very stressful because 1 minute she's telling me I need to join spirit organizations, next she's telling me I need to focus on my grades, so it's very hard to balance, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and that sounds extremely difficult, especially it sounds like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're being put under a tremendous amount of pressure. Do you find that the pressure you're being put on with your family makes it hard to, how do you feel about the pressure combined with you tackling the spirit orbs in your grades as well?
Honestly, I've never thought about it, but thinking about it now, it feels like it's just sometimes I feel like I'm doing it for other people and not for myself. It's just been very difficult trying to, like, when I think of it, like, am I happy in this and everything, rather than like I'm doing this to make other people happy.
I got you. That sounds very difficult and very hard, especially. And you said that you were a first gen student?
First gen.
Got you. And is this your first year of college or?
Yes, first year.
Got you. Have your parents always, or your mom, have your parents always placed a high standard for your grades?
In the beginning, like elementary school, she didn't really, just because I struggled a lot with grades. But once I got into high school, I started getting into National Honor Society and really setting my goals for high grades. And I think she just kind of like bounced off of that.
Gotcha.
To see like, oh, well, she's getting all A's, like, let's keep on getting those all A's. So really nothing less than a B was acceptable.
Got you. Well, I want to congratulate you on the Honor Society. That's
Thank you.
Very impressive standard. And I recognize that you first set the standard for yourself, so that is very impressive that you took that initiative for yourself. So you said you're finding that that's transferring over to where you're at in college now?
Yes.
Have you done or experienced anything that has helped relieve the pressure from the grading and the tension that can create with your mom?
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I've journaled in the past, and I find that to be sometimes draining, but 9 out of 10 times it does help because I like to bottle everything in at times, so I found that journaling does help and just like feels like I can just talk to the journal, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, and that sounds like a very helpful technique for you. You said that you used to journal. Do you know why that you stopped doing it as much?
I think just because I am so busy with everything, the minute I come back to the room, I'm like in bed, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, and that sounds very time consuming, and so I understand why you did that. So you mentioned your mom, but where's your dad? And where's your dad in this situation for you?
So my parents are divorced, and my dad lives in Michigan, so he's not really in the picture, but we call every once in a while. But
Got you. And does he at any times add to the pressure?
Usually when we do talk, it becomes he'll ask, what is your mom saying about this? And then I'll tell him, and he'll be like, well, your mom's right.
Okay.
So not that I try to avoid his calls, but it just seems like dread sometimes rather than being like, I'm just going to call for fun.
Right. Well, that sounds like a lot of pressure that you're facing, and it sounds, and correct me if I'm wrong, that your dad has been kind of intensifying and multiplying the pressure by bringing up your mom when it's just a one-on-one call about your grades in general.
Yeah.
That's very difficult, especially with both parents. What about, do you have any siblings?
I'm an only child.
You're an only child.
But I do live with my grandmother.
Got you. How's your relationship with your grandmother?
We're really good. We're really good. She's like my rock. She's always supportive. She says, as long as you pass, you're okay.
Gotcha.
She's very much like my rock, and I always go to her if I'm like, well, mom said this, and I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, I'm glad that you have that support system, at least with one person. And it sounds like that you are a very resilient lady, and that you are, yes, that you are resilient, you are working through a lot. If you're free next week, I would love to meet again. And thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.